Back to the daily grind, and shout out to the full-time patrons. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Two UFC top-ranked lightweights battled it out this weekend at UFC Atlantic City. Kevin Lee and Edson Barboza in a potential title eliminator. Now let me explain. We know Khabib Nurmagomedov just became the UFC lightweight champion at UFC 223, and the number 1 and number 2 contenders are Conor McGregor and Tony Ferguson. But we don't know when Conor McGregor or Tony Ferguson are going to be returning to the octagon, and when Conor McGregor does return, we don't know who he's going to be returning against. Is it going to be Floyd Mayweather? Is it going to be Nate Diaz? Does he want his belt back? Or whenever. We don't know if Tony Ferguson's when he's going to be back to be able to fight Khabib, because his leg injury is looking pretty nasty after surgery. So with that being said, the winner of this fight between Edson Barboza and Kevin Lee are going to be looking to make their case for a title shot versus Khabib. Now, the least likely fighter to win this fight and get a title shot in my mind would be Edson Barboza, just because it's kind of like, Tyron Woodley and Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. You already fought him. In Wonderboy's case, he fought him twice now, and he wasn't able to get the W. And in Edson Barboza's case, he only fought Khabib once, but it was recent, and not only was it recent, it was pretty one-sided. So with the other lightweight contenders in the picture, the Eddie Alvarez, the Dustin Poiriers, and there's a lot of lightweight contenders and fresh matchups for Khabib Nurmagomedov. I don't know if Edson Barboza would get the nod. Now, if Kevin Lee wins, he's been calling out Khabib for a while. It'd be an interesting style matchup. He could be looking, but he's coming off of an interim title fight with Tony Ferguson, which he had his moments and he looked good in. So Kevin Lee's going to be making his case for a title shot if he beats Edson Barboza. And on top of that, Edson Barboza just fought Khabib. Khabib beat him, in a 5-round unanimous decision, pretty one-sided. He pulverized Edson Barboza. I mean, he made it look easy, even though it's not, of course. But Khabib's one of the best grapplers in the world in the UFC, and he got Edson Barboza to where he wanted him, on the ground. He was able to, wear him out in the first and second round to the point where he was even starting to strike with Edson Barboza and looking really good en route to becoming the UFC lightweight champion. So with that being said, this fight between Kevin Lee and Edson Barboza, it's got some title implications low-key, but it's not like an interim title fight per se. But still, Edson Barboza has said now that Khabib Nurmagomedov has become the champion, it's very motivating. And in saying that, he said he really, really hopes to fight with him again as soon as possible. He said, I don't know if he stays the champion, but I'm very motivated. Now, that's where we can delve into, like, anybody that watched that fight probably doesn't believe Edson Barboza when he says he really wants to fight Khabib again, unless you're a fighter. Or if you're not a fighter, if you're a really competitive person, or if you know someone that's really competitive. You know those people, man. If I beat your ass twice and you still want a rematch? Like, yeah, man, you got lucky. Like, no, okay, I just beat you 3 times. Oh, you got to beat me 5 out of 7. Like, no, I'm not about to keep beating you all day. But that person's not going to just be the type, admit, all right, you're better than me. I guess we should just move on. Especially take that, magnify it on a higher level. This is one of the best fighters in the world, Edson Barboza. He's been known as that. He's respected amongst fighters. Even though he got dominated, someone saying that fight, he still got a lot of respect. Like, yo, he's still taking this beat and he ain't out of there. Even the look on his face, people were saying, man, like, he just looked defeated. Like I said, people wouldn't have blamed his corner if they threw the towel in. That's the type of beating it was, you know what I'm saying? But Edson Barboza, here he is still talking about a rematch, to much people's surprise. And that's, and on top of that, Khabib's the champion now. Maybe if Khabib wasn't the champion, he wouldn't necessarily be saying he's motivated for the Khabib rematch. But now maybe he is, but you also have to think the belt is where the money is in the UFC. So I don't care who's the champ. Like Wonderboy, think about Wonderboy. Of course he wants that belt. You know what I'm saying? He already fought Tyron Woodley twice. He wasn't able to get the W. He still wants to fight for the gold. So what is Edson Barboza supposed to do? Just say, all right, yeah, maybe I should just not ever fight for the title while Khabib's the champion? Hell yeah, I want that rematch. And maybe in the rematch, who knows? This is a fight. Maybe next time when he shoots in for a takedown, I'll catch him with a flying knee like he's done in his past. Or maybe he'll catch him with Edson Barboza is known for some brutal knockouts. It can be any type. So it's a fight. Edson Barboza is always going to have a chance. So I honestly believe him when he says, yeah, Khabib's the champion. I'm motivated to be the champion. I'm down for a rematch, even though it might sound crazy when you first hear Edson Barboza's hoping for a Khabib rematch. So with that being said, man, it is what it is. Let the full-time family know what you think in the comments about Edson Barboza hoping to possibly get a rematch with Khabib after he fights Kevin Lee, even though it's not really likely. If Edson Barboza beats Kevin Lee, I would see possibly Dustin Poirier, Eddie Alvarez. You know, there's a lot of other guys that could potentially get a title shot next over a Khabib versus Barboza rematch. But hey, who knows? With that being said, it is what it is. I'm out. And as always, thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also hit the notification bell right next to it so you're notified every time I upload a video. I'm out.
This is #1 bullshit.